Hey guys, it's Desiree. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you have been here before, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you saw in the title, is 18 things I've learned in 18 years. I turned 18 on May 10th, so I've been 18 for a couple months now, just living it up. I saw this video done by Sadie Aldis, something like that. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I will link her video below, and I really liked this idea. So I put a list of things I've learned in 18 years together to share with you guys. I love having knowledge. I just like having knowledge, like I said. So my Pinterest and my Instagram and all of that is constantly filled with quotes or discussion posts and such of things that I think are super important and should be something I should know, but something I want to be able to share with other people. So a lot of these things are things that I would tell people all the time if I could, so I'm really excited to be able to share it on a platform with you guys. Number one, and this is a personal thing for me, but it is so important, and that is respect. Everyone, respect. Just respect is so important. I think respect is so important. It's just like a basic human decency thing. However, that being said, respect is also earned, so it's a little bit confusing, and it took me some time to decipher my opinion on it, and everybody will have their own. But for me, everybody I treat with a level of respect, and then the more you earn respect, the more respect I'll give to you. And make sure that you're also getting that respect back. I kind of like the quote that Tupac said, "I still want to see you eat, just not at my table," or whatever it is he says. I'll put it up on the screen for you guys. But I really like that quote because I think this kind of goes down to the same thing, and that basic human decency level. I don't have to like you, I don't have to fully give you this utmost amount of respect, but I respect you enough to still want to see you surviving, to still want to see your basic needs being met, if that makes sense. Number two is appreciate the little things in life. They brighten your day. If you pay attention to little things, if you appreciate the little things, you're gonna be overall happier because you're gonna be getting a lot of little bursts of happiness throughout your day, or a lot of little things that you kind of look at and appreciate. And I just think that's really important, and a good way to stay positive throughout the day or throughout your life is to just always take time to sit back, and of course you want to focus on your goals, but always still appreciate the things that you have around you right now. Number three is that you only have bad moments. I don't know where I heard this. It might have been a movie or a book, but I have heard this. It's not me saying it. I just don't remember where it's from. Basically, the idea of it and what I took from it is that a lot of the times once something happens and they'll be like, "I'm having such a bad day." And I've done it and I still do it, and it's not something you'll ever stop doing, but I think it's important to remember or kind of look at the situation as a bad moment. If you have a really bad morning and then you get to school and you're like, "Oh, I'm having such a bad day." Well, your day's not even really started yet. Your whole day is not bad, but if you start your day saying you're having a bad day, you're likely going to kind of put that kind of negative energy out there and end up having a bad day, or not being able to realize if you're focusing on how bad of a day you're having, you're blocking yourself out from focusing on the good things that maybe happen, or the little things that may be good about your day. And then to go hand in hand with that, I also put it's not the end of the world. And basically that sounds so cliche, and sometimes that's really rude to say to people, so I wouldn't tell people that. I do think personally you should always keep that in mind. If you break a cup in the morning and you let that ruin your whole day, instead of just sweeping it up and throwing it out and kind of remembering that life will still go on despite your cup being broken, you will have a much better day than if you dwell on the fact that you broke a cup. I know personally I struggle with remembering that life will go on, that little things in my life are not going to ruin my whole life. Number four is don't focus on only the future. As I said, everybody has goals, everybody has things they want to achieve in their life, and that is so incredibly important. However, if you get so caught up in reaching your goals, you forget to be present in the moments that are happening at that time. you forget to recognize your smaller goals in life, you know, making your bed in the morning, you know, getting your work done for that day, and it starts to become like just, you get in a routine, like a cycle, and it becomes very easy to tire yourself out and to get just caught up in reaching that one specific goal, and you just sometimes need to take time to stop, let yourself that moment to relax and recharge. Number 5 goes hand in hand with that, and it is that happiness is not a destination. This is something I struggle so much with. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that for me personally, I constantly think, like throughout high school, I was like, I can't wait to be in college. I can't wait to be in college. Like when I go to college and I can like pick the classes I want to take and like drive and go places and do what I want to do, I'm going to be so much happier. But I really didn't appreciate my high school experience. I didn't make the most of my high school experience because I was so focused on getting out of high school and getting to a place where I thought I was going to be happier. Now I'm going to be starting college and Corona's here, so it's not even ideal at all. I'm not going to be going into classes. I still can't drive. What I thought I was aiming towards didn't turn out, and you never know how the future or what the future holds. So if you constantly invest yourself in a future that may not be there, you're going to be, one, severely disappointed if it doesn't happen the way you want it to. You're also holding yourself back from being happy in that moment and in the present time because you're making yourself believe happiness is something you have to achieve instead of something you need to experience. Number 6 is that everyone starts somewhere, and to remember where you came from. So I am someone who has big goals. I am like, wow, I really want to do that, but I just think that I am not set up to do that. I don't have the same opportunities as other people, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the image. Like I get worried, I bog myself down with things that I think are gonna hold me back instead of just going for it. And I think it's really important to remember that every celebrity started as not a celebrity. Every rich person started as someone who, every rich person started somewhere. They built up their companies or they did whatever to get where they are today. And I think it's so important to remember that to you, it may seem like these other people have so many great opportunities, or they had so much to get where they are and that made it easier for them, but they still had to start somewhere before they got there. And so will you, and so work with what you have. If you put in the effort and you do what needs to be done and you're dedicated to what you want, eventually you'll reach your goals. As for the remember where you came from, as I said, everybody starts somewhere, and I think it is so important to remember where that is that you started, whether that be if you become famous or rich. Remember that you were at some point not who you are now, and I think it's important to remember that, not in a bad way, but as in don't let it all go to your head. Remember the people, and remember those who helped you along the way. Number 7 is always make your own opinions, and I mean this on people or in life. I think, especially in high school, I seen a lot of people, my friends, whoever, that kind of, it was hard for them to make their own opinions because they kind of listened to what everybody else said or listened to the media, and I think you miss a lot of opportunities when you don't let yourself decide for yourself if that's something you want to do or that's someone you want to talk to. You may hear bad things about someone, but until you've actually spoken to them or spent time with them yourself, you can't decide if you're gonna like that person. That person could have been your best friend. That person could have given you incredible opportunities or helped you in a way you weren't expecting. Making your own opinions is so important because ultimately, whether or not none of your friends like that outfit or none of your friends like that place you want to go try out, it could become your favorite place, it could become your favorite outfit, or that person could become one of your best friends. Always form your own opinions, or at least give everything a chance before you decide if it's for you or not. Number 8 is know your worth. If you don't know your worth and you don't make it known that you know your worth, people will find it so much easier to kind of take advantage of you. I'm not saying don't be a nice person. It's so incredibly important to be a nice person and be kind to others and help out people around you, but don't let them take advantage of you. Know that you are worth so much more, and yeah, don't take anyone's crap. Know that you're worth it, and if someone's not treating you the way they should, there's always going to be another friend, another job, another lover out there for you. So stick to your guns and know that you're worthy. 9 is don't fall in love with potential. I read this on a Pinterest thing and my mind just blew up. Like, I was like, that is so insightful. Like, I was like, that's incredible. Especially, I think, in high school or at a young age, you get very caught up in, like, wanting a boyfriend or wanting whatever, a significant other, and you end up making excuses, and you end up in a relationship that maybe isn't healthy or where you're not being treated properly, and that can happen at any point in your life. Don't fall in love with what someone could be. Fall in love with who someone is now, and then you know you're falling in love with that actual person and who they are at that moment in time, and that is going to help you out in the long run so much more than trying to make someone into who you want them to be. Number 10 is communication is key. I think I've said this in a video before, and I will say it in many videos, I'm sure, because I'm such an advocate for it. But communication is just like, no relationship, any kind of relationship, friendship, whatever, will work if you're not communicating. Nobody, as far as I know, as far as most people know, is a mind reader. I can't know what you're thinking unless you tell me. Don't ignore people or assume that they know that you're upset. Always communicate respectfully, kindly, constructively, but always communicate. Because if you don't communicate, you're not going to get anywhere. Like, communication. Number 11 is partnership, not ownership. This, again, is a relationship thing. This is more of like a romantic relationship thing, but I think it is so important, and it is to remember that you should be in a relationship and a partnership, not an ownership. So that person should not be dictating what you wear or who you talk to or getting upset when you want to go out without them. No, not okay. They should be supporting you. They should be saying, have a good night and stay safe, instead of, who are you going out with? What are you wearing? Blah, blah, blah. They should hype you up. Like, it is just so incredibly important that you make sure that you are dating someone who, like I said before, is contributing to you, but also who you are equals with. Number 12 is you never know until you try, or you never get there until you try, and all of that. Basically, my point is, I struggle with this one, and that is, if you want to do something, it won't happen unless you go for it. And if you think, I'm not good enough, or I'm not going to be able to do it, or it's just not for me, or whatever you think, you're holding yourself back from potential, because you may think those things, but that doesn't mean they're true. And if you don't try, you will never find out whether or not they were true. You will never find out if that person likes you, or if that you would have gotten that job, or if you would have got into that university, or whatever it is. It won't happen if you don't try. You really want something, always at least put in a little bit of effort to try and see what could happen. Number 13 is everybody is different, so love yourself, because life is happening right now. Even if everybody in the world did the exact same workout routine and ate the exact same foods, we would not all have the same body types, we would not all look the same. So that is the first thing to remember. If you're getting fit, if you're working out, if you're doing whatever, do it for you. Don't do it to look like someone else, because that's not possible. That's not likely, and it's just going to become a disappointment for you, because you're going to aim for a goal that you cannot get to. Second of all, this is the part that I think I struggle with the most, and that is, don't let your body image hold you back. I own clothing that I think is so cute that I just don't wear, because I'm like, I don't like how it fits my body, I don't think it's flattering, I don't feel comfortable. Or if you don't do certain activities or don't take certain pictures because you're worried about how you look, you're holding yourself back. Life is happening before your eyes and you're not engaging, and that is so hard to overcome and work through, and I'm totally not there yet, and I totally get it. but just some food for thought. Number 14 is your feelings are always valid, but your actions are not. I literally cannot. This is something that is so ingrained in me because I just want to scream it to people. I spent a while making myself remember to validate everybody's feelings. Always. So anytime in an argument, anytime I'm doing anything, my main concern is making sure that I'm validating their feelings, but also not invalidating my own in doing so, which is incredibly difficult to do, but it's something that I worked really hard at and I try to do as much as possible. Because everybody's feelings are valid. However, how I react to those feelings is incredibly important, and that is where I can be wrong. So if you're very angry about something, that's valid. You can be angry. But if you retaliate by hitting someone or breaking something, that is not the correct way to handle the situation, and that is where you can be wrong in the situation. So my tip for this is to always identify what you're feeling before you react or try to. I know it's hard because a lot of people react out of emotion right away, but that's why it's so important to step back, create space, and take time before you respond or react in a situation, because sometimes you think you're feeling one thing, but that's not what you're feeling. So anger is a secondary emotion. Oftentimes anger comes from frustration or sadness. You react in anger when you're actually just frustrated. That's something you could have potentially dealt with by communicating. It's just so important to always be sure that you are taking time to think before you react, because although your feelings are valid, your actions are not always valid. And along with that, it's not what happens to you, it's how you handle it, is a quote I wanted to add in there on that point. If something bad happens to you, if you grow from it and you learn from the experience and you take a negative experience and you do what you can to make it positive in your life, that's incredible. 15 is apologize when you mean it, and apologies are not band-aids. And what I mean by this is, if you do not mean your apology, it does absolutely nothing. Apologizing is incredible. I was not someone who likes to apologize because I'm not someone who likes to admit when I'm wrong. However, I had an experience where someone apologized to me years later for something that happened, and I was just not, I had gotten to the point where I was not expecting an apology from them, and it didn't matter to me anymore, or at least I thought it didn't. And then when they apologized to me, I was like, it just felt so good to have my feelings validated, but to also have them apologize to me unprompted, just of their own accord. And I think in grade school or just growing up, a lot of the times teachers or parents tell you to apologize, which is good because you learn how, but oftentimes those aren't real apologies, and we start to use apologies as band-aids. So if you accidentally upset someone, you say, oh, I'm sorry, but if you don't mean it, or you do it again, or you're not dedicated to that apology, you haven't actually realized what you did wrong, then it's not helping anything. So to reiterate, apologies are not band-aids. Don't just slap them on any situation, and always apologize when you mean it and when you know you need to apologize. Number 16 is admit when you're wrong, and this goes hand in hand with the apologizing thing. If you know that you're wrong about something, admit it. As I said, I'm not someone who likes to admit when I'm wrong, but I also know that it is so much easier in the long run if you deal with it right away. So if I'm in the middle of an argument with someone and I say something rude, and just out of anger or frustration or whatever it is, I'll go back right away the minute I notice that, and I'll say, I'm sorry that I said that, or that I shouldn't have said that, because it is so incredibly important to deal with those things right away. You learn and you grow from that experience. Admitting when you're wrong leaves you opportunity to learn and grow, as I said. If you pretend you're right, or you just keep holding on to the fact that you're right, or ignore that you're wrong, you don't have opportunity to grow or learn from that. Number 17 is let it define you or grow from it. So as I said, if you have a situation where you are upset about something, or you've been hurt, and you let it define you, that is something that you're going to hold with you for so long. But if you choose to grow from it and make positive out of it, you're going to be able to just become such a strong individual, and you're going to have so much knowledge and experiences that you can share with other people. And lastly, number 18, this is just something that I can't even. You are the only person who can change you. You are the only person who can change your mindset. You are the only person who can make decisions for yourself. Like you take care of you. Okay, so somehow I lost the last clip to this video, so I'm really quickly going to just kind of finish what I was saying. Basically, what I was saying in that last clip is that you take care of you, and of course, I'm not saying not to ever ask for help. Getting help if you need help is so important, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I am a strong believer that your mindset is everything, and if you have a positive mindset, you're going to have a positive day, and if you have a negative mindset, you're welcoming negativity. I think when it comes to help or just changing things in your life that you want changed, ultimately, you have to be the one to do it or to want to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I honestly stand by everything I said in this video, and I think it is all just such good information. And like I said, food for thought. It's not something that I'm saying by any means I'm amazing at or do in my daily life, but these are all things I like to keep in the back of my mind because I think they're so important to at least try to implement into your life as much as possible. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know and I can do similar videos. Otherwise, you guys know the drill, and I will see you all next week. Peace out.